There he is, Mr. Transitory. Last year, July of 2021, he was telling us that inflation is transitory. Of course, he was wrong. And now he's telling us that higher rates for longer. So what is the probability that he's wrong again? I would say very high. But we can't fight the Fed. And as long as they're raising rates, the markets are going to sell off. Liz Young from SoFi tweeted this out, and it's just a graph of showing how fast the interest rates are rising now. It's the second fastest since 1984 when this data was taken. And the only other time it was faster was during the global financial crisis. And we know what happened then. So we can't fight the Fed, but will the Fed break something? Yeah, they probably will, if they haven't already. Anyway, we're going to deal with the index and stocks. And this is the Nasdaq, which from peak to trough here, November 21st or 22nd, 2021 to Friday, it's 32% peak to trough. It was 33% back on the June 16th low. So, we'll see what happens here. I do want to go over, the three-leg down theory. I put out a bear market video yesterday. Here we have our first leg down, which was a 22%. We have our bear market rally up close to the 200, and then another leg down to the June 16th lows, which is 27%. We had a 2-month summer rally from June 16th to August 16th, went from 13,181, and now this third leg down is already 17%. So, maybe we have a little ways to go, but this index, the Nasdaq, sliced its 200 on January 18th. So it's been trading below the 200 for all of 2022 since January 18th. We're going on 10 months now. And I put out that video yesterday that prior bear markets is, 11 or 12 months. So we'll see what happens. Every bear market's different. I did want to point out one thing, though, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Not that anybody, uses this as a proxy for anything. It's just 30 stocks. But it does make the headlines. And on June 17th, it made a low of 29,653, and on Friday it undercut that low. That's the significance of this. An index is already making a new low, 29,250, before rallying up towards the end of the day. So as higher highs, new highs make higher highs, new lows usually begets lower lows. So we'll see where this thing bottoms out. Anyway, we're looking at strength in stocks and not the indexes here. I trade stocks, not indexes. Anyway, this is in phase, and you got to look at the weekly charts. You can see this just still, kind of in a base consolidating, still well above its 28% above its 30-week line. So, in phase is one of the stronger stocks. The solar group is one of the stronger groups, or the strongest group. Is the number one group. So we're going to take a look at First Solar. This one, just formed this base. It was down like 16 weeks in a row. Formed a bottom, then traded higher on earnings. You can see this gap up here, and it's held its gains. It's still above its 21 EMA. Just barely hung on Friday. Yeah. 0.6%. So First Solar and in phase leading the solar, the number one group. I want to take a look at a couple of other leaders. This is Lanthius. This thing's had a good year as it gapped up twice, and it held its 50 for most of the year, and then sliced it last week. It's probably going to form a base. There's nothing wrong with that, especially in this tape. We'd expect it to form a base. And it's still just barely 1.7% above its 30-week line. So Lanthius has had a great year. Shockwave, SWAV, you can see it formed this base, broke out, and still, holding its gains on the weekly. It sliced the 50 last week. So maybe it's going to form a base. Maybe it'll even fill this gap here, 229.39. That wouldn't surprise me. But still one of the leading stocks. I want to take a look at Murphy. This one's, doesn't have the currency issues. If you have stocks that are insulated to the United States, you don't have those currency issues like the multinationals that trade on the Dow, because the dollar is so strong. But you can see you don't have to hold this stock for very long, and you've made money on this one. It has shown weakness in the last few weeks, like most stocks. but it's still, 7.8% above its 30-week line. So Murphy is doing great. I want to take a look at a couple of the computer software medical stocks. This is Eddie Van Halen. You can see that it formed this base and it broke out and it trended nicely, but now the last couple of weeks it's pulled back on lighter volume. EVH, yeah, it sliced the 50, so it'll probably form a base here, but it's doing nothing wrong, and it's still well above its 30-week line, 10%. Stocks like to run in packs, and this is one of its pack mates here. They're like dogs. This one is a PRVA. It's 13% above its 30. So yeah, it broke out nicely here, formed this nice symmetrical base with a nice handle, and then it trended up, nice 25% gain. That's classic trading right there. Buy the breakouts, sell the tops when they pull back through their 50, you get rid of them. And that's what this did. So it's probably just going to form a base. Nothing wrong with that, especially in this tape. I'm going to take a look at a few of the semiconductors because a lot of people like these stocks. This one broke out. It's holding its gains. Any stock above its 50, this one's 10.9% above its 50 simple moving average. And you can see, this base here, and then just going sideways in this market is showing relative strength. So I want to take a look at another one on semi. You can see this one's just consolidating and kind of going sideways. I think on the daily it's sliced its 50 last week. So not surprising in this tape. Let me see, what else am I going to look at here? Oh yeah, the one of my favorite groups is the Biotechs, and you can see Vertex is just going sideways. And so as Ben at Pattern Profit says, sideways is relative strength, and you can see it's got the blue dot for relative strength because it's just going sideways. It's not going down like the market. And you can see on the weekly this big base. You could call this all just a big base and a long handle. And this stock marches to the beat of its own drum, Vertex. So if you hold it, it's got the big market cap. It could be bought out. It could be buying companies. It has been buying companies. 72 billion. That's about what Celgene was when Bristol Myers bought it out. Rxdx is another one. This is come on, Marty, get the symbol right. This one's forming this. This is a daily chart now, so it's above the 50. 6.5% above the 50 shows, relative strength in this tape. But you can see on the weekly, it just formed this deep base with a little handle, broke out, now is pulling back with the market. But that stock looks good to me too. And Supernus, this one's gone sideways for, how long has it been? A year and a half. It's gone sideways, and it's got some news coming from the FDA. So it's going to be the outhouse or penthouse for this one. If it gets good news, it'll soar, and if it gets bad news, it'll fall. And it held on to its 50 simple moving average on Friday, so that one looks good. I want to take a look at a couple of the trash, the Tony Soprano trade. These trash stocks are holding up well. You can see waste management, just a base on base pattern going sideways, gives you that strong relative strength in this tape. So you can see the RS line. Yeah, it's got the blue dot here on the daily because sideways is strength in this tape. If you're not going down, you're going sideways, that's a good thing. Another one in this space, we like to say that dogs, stocks are like dogs. They travel in packs, and this is Clean Harbors. You can see the double bottom base here, and it sliced its 50 on Friday, like many stocks. But on the weekly, you can see it's they got the Dolly Parton pattern here, the base on base or the neighbor base, and just kind of going sideways. So that's showing strength too, even though it did slice the 50. It's still well above its 30-week line here. Yeah, 7%. And so the last group I want to take a look at are these renewables or alternative energy. You can see this is a Constellation, had this IPO base and then broke out and really ripped hard. And now it's pulled back, but it's still, at its 21. That's great. So that one's doing well. We want to check out the peers because they travel in packs. This one is a Montauk, a renewable on the daily chart. It formed this nice base, broke out, but buying breakouts in bear markets is tough. This one still is relatively new issue, and still you could say that's going through its due diligence phase here. What was the last one I wanted to look at? Oh yeah, this is a new one here, FREY. This one has been doing well, huh? Yeah, FREY battery, fairly new, huh? I'm going to take a look at the daily. Yeah, this big base here and this gap here higher and holding above its 21, 4.7% above the 21 and 20% above the 50. So that one's showing relative strength in this tape. Anyway, that's my weekly review. Thank you for watching. At mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. So stay positive out there. The markets are going to turn. We're going to get some good prices on some quality merchandise. And like I say, never give up.